what we're doing, we're starting from guard, right? We don't have our geese, so we don't have our grips to hold on to. What I generally tell people is keep their hands up and keep their head activated, right? So we're here, right? Laying back like this and grabbing onto the wrist does you no good. Um, so one thing I want to talk about real quick when it comes to the arm bars, if you pull on the wrist, it's very difficult. People can I can pull his hand up and he'll just put it back, right? So what you want to do is always pull from the elbows, right? If you flare elbows out, people's posture breaks. So we're going to kind of use that same concept. So I'm going to ideally swim under one, grab onto this one, right? And I'm going to lift my hips and pull it across. Once I get it here, I'm going to lock it down with my hand comes over, and I'm going to put my foot on the hip, right? And I'm going to start pinching my knees together. As I pinch my knees together, I'm going to swivel myself around, and I'm going to throw my leg up and start biting, right? Very important that you get this bite. If you turn around and you just throw this up, it's not going to work. I want to keep this arm nice and tight. Pinch here. I throw this over, and I pinch my knees together all the way. If my knees are pinched together, his arm should be straight. If my knees are not pinched together, then his arm will be resting on my chest. And so I come here, both hands to a positive grip where I have it here, knees together, feet come down, slowly lift my hips till my partner taps out. Because there's any point the armbar could not work. But like, okay, that's why I was saying I'll lead into the flower sweep because it's not that complicated. So let's say that I'm here, I do all my movements, I pull across, and I get here, and then I can't seem to get like my leg over, or I didn't cut a good angle or whatever. I'm basically gonna hold onto this arm, and I'm gonna swim this up under here, right? So now I'm elbow deep under the thigh, right? And I've gone from being like foot on the hip here, trying to get my foot around, to where I then swim this arm under and I'm super deep and I still have this arm. Once I'm here, this is where that big swinging motion comes in, right? I start to swing and I swing us up and over, and then I wind up on top, right? And you kind of got to understand the mechanics of getting the swing to kind of work. Otherwise, as I kind of go to roll over, he'll land on my leg. So we're starting from here. I go for my arm bar. I'm going for all the typical steps. I come here, and then for whatever reason I can't do this. Oftentimes, this guy will put his hand next to my neck and then prevent me from turning this way, right? And this sucks. So then I'm like, okay, now I have to like, better people will just submit you here. But like, this can block a lot of kids because they'll be like, and I can't go that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap my primary hand to my secondary hand, and then I'll swim under. And I want to make sure I'm elbow deep. If you're just at wrist, all you're going to do is, if he sits on your hand, is trap your hand, and now you can't get your hand out. So I swim all the way elbow deep, right? If he had a gi, I grab onto his gi here. But once I'm here, I'm going to start swinging my hips like this. And once I get a good enough swing, I'll come all the way up on top, and then I can make my table.